Hello everyone, and our Game Gear-a-thon continues with Sonic Triple Trouble. Probably the best question mark out of the Sonic Game Gear games objectively. And as you can see, we once again have the choice between Sonic and Tails, but that's more than a coincidence. This is actually in Japan known as Sonic and Tails 2. Basically, this is an actual sequel to Sonic Chaos. Like Sonic Chaos, I'm playing as Sonic for the most part though, even though Tails is actually pretty good in this game. Sonic still has the spin dash and the peel out, and Tails can still fly, however his flying lasts a bit longer and is much faster. Plus, this time around, Tails can actually get Chaos Emeralds and the good ending, so if you want to play as Tails, he's actually pretty worth it. I think he is a bit slower though, so you have to keep that in mind. Either way, Great Turqoise is once again just another green hill zone, so nothing really special there. And you're going to be noticing, like Sonic Chaos, I'm collecting rings. Not 100 this time around, though. I only need 50, because the Chaos Emeralds are a bit of a mixture between Sonic Chaos and Sonic 1 and 2 on the Game Gear. The way to get them is hidden in the stages, but you need to get a certain amount of rings in order to access it. Either way, in terms of story for this game, it's honestly still pretty basic. Eggman had all 6 Chaos Emeralds. There's still 6, even though this came after Sonic 3 and Knuckles even, by the way, in case you couldn't tell by the fact that Knuckles is in the game. But for some reason they went back to 6 instead of the usual 7 Chaos Emeralds. And he had all 6, put them in to power up his giant weapon of the game, which is a atomic destroyer, whatever that means. And something exploded, sending 5 of them into an alternate dimension. And now with these boxes, we can find the other 5 in order to get the good ending. Oh god, no, don't go that way. So that's our mission. Get the 5 Chaos Emeralds and get the 6th one back from Eggman, because he still has that one. And this is this game's special stages, or at least half of them. They're kind of levels in of themselves. You have to find the Chaos Emerald in it by getting to the end. And you do have a time limit if the ticking down time isn't obvious. And these are honestly pretty annoying special stages. I don't like them much at all. A lot of them are either very mazy or at times a bit tight with the time limit. And plus there's a lot of springs placed in dickish places. Like this place in particular right here. I hate this little area. There are clocks you can get in order to restore the time back to its natural, or at least starting minute and a half, so it's not that bad. But it could be worse. Also, I hate this little jump here. You see, the thing is about this game in springs with Sonic is that he always springs up off of a spring in his standing position. In order to make that jump, you need to press the jump button again to curl up, and oh, you're a new character. Meet, well, man of 2 names. Fang the Sniper or Knack the Weasel. He's an idiot. Eggman hired him to find the other 5 Chaos Emeralds, which is why we're going to be encountering him in most of the special stages. He actually doesn't get used much in the Sonic universe. He's only in the comics, this game, and Sonic the Fighters. Even though he's the most broken character in Sonic the Fighters, which I'll eventually, I guess, take a look at that game. Either way, a lot of the Chaos Emerald boxes, first off, after you leave the special stage, you're back to 0 rings, but almost every single one of the boxes is, like, right next to the goal. Honestly, I'll say it right now, God, what was the name of this place? Great Turqoise, I think? Is your generic first zone. Pretty easy enemies, nothing too complicated in terms of layout or gimmicks. It's pretty simple. Now, you may have noticed I got something there on the panel. I forget which panel I got, but the thing is, like the previous Game Gear games, the end-level panel can have a few different things on it. If you get the back of the panel, like in the last game, you need to spin the panel again. If you get a flicky, you get nothing. If you get a ring, you add 10 rings to your final ring tally. The Sonic and Tails panels still do different things depending on which character you're playing as. If you get the Sonic panel as Sonic, you get a 1-up. If you get the Tails panel as Tails, you get a 1-up. However, if you get the opposite character panel when you're playing as a certain character, you get 10,000 points. So, Sonic as Tails gets you 10,000 points, Tails as Sonic gets you 10,000. The Knuckles panel, which I think might be the rarest, gives you a continue. The Chaos Emerald starts you with the next act with 50 rings, so that's pretty handy. And that's about it. Now, for the most part, my main reason to play as Sonic, even though you can do everything as Tails, is because, first off, he's the main character. And secondly, while Tails does have an easier time in some levels, Sonic is just much more natural to me. Even if that does cause some annoyances in later zones. That is still a checkpoint box. However, unlike Sonic, I think it was Sonic 1 on the Game Gear, if you die, And you're sent back to that checkpoint, but you don't need to hit it again. At least, I don't think so. That would be still really stupid. Also, carve through that and head down here. And this is where this level's Chaos Emerald is. Every stage, aside from the Act 3, does have a Chaos Emerald, so it's pretty easy to get them all if you know how to get 50 rings and find that box. However, the thing is, there are 5 special stages, but numbers 2 and 4 are a bit weird. They're closer to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 half-pipe kind of area. You're piloting the tornado, and you're just trying to get the amount of rings it says. I think it's always 80. And I'm not a fan of these because, first off, finding out where the hitbox is if you're a new player or an old one on the tornado can be a bit iffy. It's Sonic's head, I believe, but it feels a bit bigger than that, or smaller at times even. And the tornado moves really slowly. Thankfully, these stages are long, so getting the necessary 8 rings is basically guaranteed as long as you don't stupidly avoid every single ring. The bombs don't even make you lose rings in this stage. They just freeze your controls in place for a few seconds, so you just can't reach certain rings. I love the music, though. Mind you, Triple Trouble on the whole, I think, probably has the best soundtrack out of the Sonic Game Gear games. Oh yeah, that's the thing. The previous 3 Sonic Game Gear games have had Master System ports, and while there is an unofficial fan hack for this one, this was actually a Game Gear exclusive. Which actually explains a few technical things about Triple Trouble, because honestly, it's obviously the best looking out of all the games that we played so far from the Game Gear, but it's also the most technically sound, because it was actually developed for the console, not ported over later. Either way, like I said, Knack shows up at the end of every special stage, and from here on out, he is actually a bit of a mini-boss that you can entirely miss out on. And this first one's really easy. He only bounces left to right, relying only on touch damage, and as long as you can stay on top of his head, there is nothing he can do. The thing he's riding, actually, if I recall, is actually like his personal vehicle. I think it's like an air bike named the Marvelous Queen or something like that. But as you can see, it's disgustingly easy. In fact, none of Knack's fights in the game are troublesome at all. Getting to them, however, that's another thing entirely. By the way, I love the little Chaos Emerald Get theme. And now let's head back to Act 2. And, oh yeah, actually, another little thing in terms of the score side. Whenever you get out of a special stage, whether or not you win or lose, your in-level timer actually resets to 0. And because, like I said, a lot of the special stages are located near the end of a stage, it's very easy to get the maximum time bonus of 9,900 doing this. So if you're going for a max score run, if it's even possible, you can do that. Also, I think you get to continue every 50,000 points or something like that. I don't know. Either way, it's time for the first Act 3, which is a bit of a combination of Sonic Chaos and Sonic 2. There are rings in these stages, but you actually have to go looking for them more often in some cases. Although I'm not sure if there's any rings at all in this specific boss stage. Mind you, you don't really need it because the boss is pathetically easy. And here it is. Boss of this stage is a turtle. Weird. You can only damage the thing on the bottom, and he will occasionally try to attack you, but as you can see, if you are really quick at jumping, he can do basically nothing. This boss is basically just here, I'm guessing, to get you adjusted to the fact that when you spring upwards, you have to press the jump button in order to not get damaged, because that is my best time against him, even though he rarely ever takes much longer than that. Great Turqoise, very easy zone, nothing to really worry about. Oh, hi, Knuckles. Damn it, Knuckles! You might be wondering why Knuckles is against us, even though this takes place after Sonic 3. Knuckles. Eggman tricked him into saying we're the bad guy again. Knuckles, you're a goddamn idiot. And time for Sunset Park, which is a pretty annoying area, purely because there's a lot of things that can hit you. There's also these motobugs and mine carts that you can control by moving by spin dashing, but honestly, it's nothing too bad. It is harder than Turqoise, the Great Turqoise, but not by much. Though there are a lot of springs that can just screw you over like that almost. I'm surprised I managed to recover from that. A lot of the stages do have very easy ways to get the 50 rings, so honestly, getting special stages in this game is nothing too hard, you just need to learn where they are. Now, speaking of rings, actually, this game started something that would actually later come back in some of the 3D games, in that when you get hit, you don't lose all of your rings. I think the first 3D game to do that was Shadow. When you get hit by spikes, you lose 50 rings. However, if you get hit by basically anything else, you only lose 30. Which, from a special stage achieving viewpoint, is such a better system. It also makes however, because of that, the game at times can be a bit easy. Though sometimes these stages are kind of dickishly designed, I'm not gonna lie. And time for the third special stage. I'll be honest, first off, special stage 3 is back to this style. I hate this style of special stage. I like the half-pipe plain ones enough, but I hate these, because if you're not playing as Tails, they can be really dickish in terms of sending you far back without a way to get your time back up to max. Especially special stage 5. Ugh. I would have been perfectly fine if they had brought back the... Well, mind you, I guess in some ways this is just an extension on the idea that Sonic Chaos started. But honestly, I would have been completely fine if they just brought back the idea of finding them in levels like in Sonic 1 and 2. These platforms are always here, by the way. They're not like the Mega Man panels that reappear or disappear that are based off timing. They're always there, you just need to land on them. Also not a big fan of the special stage theme. But mind you, it's one song out of like, how many, like 20-something songs in this game that I don't like. Also, it's weird, looking at those orbs that I just destroyed, they look eerily like objects that Silver can lift up in 06. But yeah, because of, I'm not sure if because of the weird physics that the game has or something, sometimes getting up hills like this can be really annoying, and I'm not entirely sure why. Either way, time for our third encounter with Knack, and this one is even easier than the last one. He's on his Marvelous Queen, and he's just flying around up and down. Hit him then, and it's done. Knack, maybe you should learn that you need some extensions in order to be able to try and do damage to me. But yeah, that fight should not give you any trouble. It's one of those cases that I guess they were trying to go for kind of difficult special stage, but easy boss. Oh well. Also, as you can see, the Chaos Emeralds are now completely different colors, whereas in Sonic Chaos, they were only slightly differently colored. Same with Game Gear 2. And with that, we're done with the stage. I do like the ideas they tried to make with the special stages here, but part of me does wish that they brought back the just get a 100 ring tally and you'll go to the special stage kind of thing. But at the same time, I can see why they didn't do that, because honestly, getting 100 rings in this game can be kind of troublesome. Either way, time for Sunset Park 2, which starts off with the snowboard sequence. Not snowboard, that is a minecart. Snowboard is Sonic 3 Knuckles, Kyle. Honestly, though, this is probably my favorite stage in the game, purely just because I think it's the good amount of, basically the perfect difficulty level. It can be annoying, but it's nothing too hard. Also, the rocket boots are back. These are Sonic exclusive, though. If you hit that box as Tails, Tails essentially goes into a much longer lasting and slightly faster version of his flight mode than he already had. So that's handy. In fact, that's actually another thing that separates Sonic and Tails. They each get their own little unique abilities, besides their normal obvious traits that you can find in boxes. Also, that's another weird little gimmick this stage has. Those little green thing in the background I just passed. If you jump right in front of them, you'll actually be pushed right back down for some reason. And time for Special Stage 4, which is another one of these kinds. And I'm speeding this up because, honestly, we've seen this before. There's nothing really different about it this time. The ring layout isn't even that different. The main difference is obviously the black background, which honestly I think makes this stage a bit easier because it's a lot harder to misplace the rings. I do wish that they had reversed the special stage order. It started with these, and every other one was the actual stage layout ones. Because that means there'll be more of these, and I find these easier than the stage layout ones. But, oh well. Either way, time for our next Knack encounter, which is, honestly, still fairly simple. This time around, he cracks out a missile launcher. The way this works is that the missile will constantly be tracking from left to right across the screen. And you're supposed to dodge it, but I just say screw it and try to just go in all damage anyway, because Honestly, the one ring, like in Sonic Chaos, always bounces directly up, so you should rarely ever lose it. And then, after he takes enough hit, the missile hits him automatically, so you can just move on. Like I said, Knack's boss fights are pathetic. Mind you, that may be the intention, because he seems pretty incompetent, all things considered. Though I know for a fact he actually has some unused sprites. One of him holding a Chaos Emerald, I guess, like he found it first, so he's going to try and take it. And one of him pointing a gun at Sonic, because he actually does have a handgun that he would later use in Sonic the Fighters, though it fires only what look to be corks. So that's a thing. Also, those missile platforms suck. Also, the level's done. Though, we actually get a pretty unique case in this right here. We don't get a score screen. We transition right into the next stage. And Act 3 is very simple. You're just doing this. Standing on this train and jumping into the bomb carriers. And obviously jumping over pits as you go. This is, I think, possibly the shortest level in the game because this is not very long or even annoying. It's pretty simple. I love this song, though. This song only plays here. I think it is just called Sunset Park Act 3. And, oh my god, it's so good. A lot of train sections of video games tend to have some really good music. Even though, when I think of a train section in a video game, I immediately think of Uncharted 2. And I less so remember the music in that section and more so that annoying helicopter. Good lord, I hated that helicopter. But yeah, this stage is pretty simple, and you reach the boss fairly quickly too. We're about to reach him in about 3, 2, 1. And this boss is pretty simple. What he does is that he moves left and right. When he reaches the right, he fires his pellet, which I think might be an instant kill. I'm not entirely sure about that, though. Either way, you only need to hit him 3 times, and he's done. That's it. He's gone. Let's go. And with that, that was Sunset Park. Pretty simple zone. It has some more difficulty, but it still shouldn't give you too much of an issue. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we're heading into Meta Jungle Era. See you guys then.